All right. So I think this is the session's only talk with no animals. I do apologize. I'll make sure to add one in my next talk. But for now, this is Ctrl+Alt+Deceit, the Game Jam scam. And this is a story about something that happened very shortly after joining the AppSec team in Equinor. And I was contacted by someone that I somewhat knew through a game development community. And I was asked if I could test out their game, and this is what happened. It all starts off with this conversation. Hi. Hi. How are you feeling? Good, you? Now, at this point, I didn't know the person really well, so it was a bit weird getting these messages. Good, thanks. I was wondering if you had 5 minutes to spare. I can't right now. What's this about? So I answered, I would usually say yes, but I was just about to go to bed, so it was not the best timing. I've been working on this game for a while, and it's finished now. I was wondering if I could test it out to see if it works on your machine. Sweet, congrats. Send me a link, and I'll check it out over the weekend. Thanks. Here's the link. Definitely not on evillink.com. And me being the good Samaritan that I am, figured I've got 10-15 minutes to spare, so I check it out. First, I am Sean Sinclair, and I used to be a backend developer turned AppSec person. I'm a father of two, game developer and musician. And who are they? They are, or will for obvious reasons, remain anonymous. But to me, hold on, they are a friendly face in the Norwegian game jam or game dev community. And we've spoken together during a couple of game jams. And for context, a game jam is where developers, artists, musicians, anyone that's required to make a game or want to make a game will get together and work on that for a weekend, a week, and similar. And in a game jam, you're supposed to make a game that's around a certain topic. And the topic could be something like waves, where you make a surfing game. Previous years it's been duality and make me laugh as topics. And one year there was even just a photo of Ouroboros. And the theme is revealed the day that the game jam starts. So everyone is sort of on the same page when the game jam starts and has to make a game within that time period. And the context for how this happened matters. Because as you can see in the photo, all of the warning signs were there. They didn't trigger though because of a couple of factors. First of all, being Discord. Discord is my go-to place to hang out with and play games with friends. And it's a place that I share my creations with other people. So it's a place where my guard gets naturally a bit lowered. And then there's the game jam community also, being a really friendly community. We help each other test games all the time. And being contacted to test out some feature, it's happened so many times, so it didn't trigger any of these alarm bells. And spoiler alert, even though this Windows protected your machine message came up, you still ran it because in game dev, when you're testing out a prototype, this is something that happens all the time. And also, it was fairly late. I was about to go to bed, but still wanted to help out. So what was the game that I was sent? It's a game called Planets Therapy. And it looks like something that could have been made by a solo developer. It has some, there we go, simple art. Hold on. There we go, simple vector art at the top. Call to actions button, Yakem, Carolina, Dr. Therapy. It's fairly simple, and further down on the website, there were a couple of videos. The first one being a video where you're at a therapy session, and the text reads, I am Dr. Albert Gerald Kruger, and I'll be in charge of your dream therapy today. What? I'm not sick. And then the second video was a choose the right cup game. Not sure what that has to do with therapy, but and then there's a math game. 1 + 1 = question mark. So if you think about it now, there's something off here. Some things, these have nothing to do with therapy. But still, I downloaded and ran the game, and nothing happened. A black window pops up and disappears. And that should have triggered some alarm bells, right? But I still gave them the benefit of the doubt and figured I'll call them tomorrow and ask them what's up. So the next day, on my way down to the living room after having put my son down for his nap, I get a call from an old colleague. Hi, quick question. Are you messaging me on Discord right now? And you can probably imagine what my face looked like. Something like this. So panic ensues, and I rush to my computer to try and figure out what's happened. And looking back at all the things that I did, I've tried to group them together into a couple of stages, even though most of this happened at the same time. So start off with the incident assessment. Start up the machine and start up Discord and see that I've been logged out. So I log back in and I go to another machine, non-exposed machine, and log into Discord, and I see 8 people have been messaged. 2 people have responded, and 1 person has received the malicious link. I also have been set to do not disturb so that I don't get any notifications on my phone. And luckily, the only link that was sent was to that old colleague of mine who had also recently been a victim of a similar attack. So they were quite wary of things like this. So I think that I was quite lucky there. And the second step was securing the critical accounts. I go into my password manager, change the password on that, log into all the critical accounts like mail, Discord, social media, PayPal, anything else that I deem to be critical. And then I do a full system reset of the exposed machine and reset pretty much all the passwords that I had. So another password manager was a godsend. And then I nuke any active sessions for all the platforms that support that. So on Facebook, you can go into settings and say, log me out of all my devices. Do that for all the platforms where that was a feature. And then there was outreach and cleanup. I messaged all the people that had been contacted by me, telling them about the malware and that they should be aware of messages like this. And I checked my other channels for potential other messages, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I notified the Game Jam admins. And they get back to me saying that this has happened to a lot of the members in the Game Jam community. And that was where the person who messaged me also was attacked. So it was sort of a chain effect there. And I figured sharing is caring. So the following workday, I share the event with my colleagues and team. And some of them were kind enough to look into the details of the malware. They download the malware and investigate it and find out that it's a Discord token and crypto wallet stealer based off the BBY stealer. And the BBY stealer is, this is the Mitra attack technique overview for a similar malware, but this one is targeted towards VPN users, and mine was specifically Discord. But it still uses the same process. So it first gains access using phishing, starts executing various commands, drops the malware into the startup folder, then it tries to harvest OS credentials before going on to looking for processes and registry information related to crypto wallets. Then it tries to harvest crypto wallet from the browser, and then it does some manipulation with the clipboard and does some DNS lookups. And pretty much the only change between my malware and this one was that I used the active Discord token to start messaging contacts in my Discord contacts. So in conclusion, This will never happen to me is a quote said by everyone this has ever happened to. Use a password manager. It was so nice having this one place to go into and then systematically go through every password and change everything instead of having to try to dig through your memory for what places you've signed up for. Trust but verify. If I would have called him on Discord and said, hey, could you tell me about the game? That sounds really cool. That would have avoided this entire thing. And sharing the experience has helped. It's made me realize that this is a lot more common than you think. And I've gotten messages from people saying that this happened to me last week. So spread the awareness. That's me. Thanks.